Yeah, I don't even know if anybody's going to be up this early, but I am, and so is the L-1011. So we're going to make a flight. It's it's Denver to Dulles coming up day 9. 20 planes in 20 days celebration. Now, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. So a little bit of a longer flight for me today. Again, if if these 20 planes in 20 days, if they're not tied to something from the VAT sim world, an event or something like we had going on last night, then I've tried to recreate a flight during this 20 planes in 20 days celebration to something that was significant in the past year. And this happens to be, this particular route was the first stream that I ever did in the L-1011. It was still a pretty new plane for me at the time. I don't recall how it went, judging by my recent history with this plane. Probably not great, but probably had a lot of fun regardless. And so anyway, we're going to recreate that and see if anybody tags along. It is a 3-hour and probably 30-minute flight, so I may break this stream up in half because, as you know, it takes a little bit to set this girl up. Um, so this first part of the stream might be set up and then climb to top of climb type of thing, and then we'll come back later on. We'll take a little stretch break and come back later on for the descent. It all just depends on kind of who's along for the ride and yeah, how things are going. But that's kind of the plan for me today. So let's jump right in here and let's get this thing going. All right, I already have the battery on. I have external power connected as well. Let's see, external power can come on. AP service is, can I turn that down to, that's not wanting to go anywhere. All right, that's interesting. That's not wanting to go anywhere. Up or down, left or right. Okay, well, so be it. Gotta get myself familiarized with what's going on here. Go B3G1 on the electrical. All right, overhead panel. We need standby power. That can come on. And we need to get the INS ready to go here as well. So I'm trying to remember if this one, yeah, this one's easier just to access from here. So we'll put it over to standby. We'll let it kind of get aligned and ready to go here, warmed up, powered up, and then we'll align it. Excuse me. Cabin signs will come on. Don't have any GSX going, don't have any doors going. All right, we're ready actually to just go right into the flight planning phase. Don't have any ATC this morning here in the Denver area, which not a huge surprise. I do think we've got something happening here at Kansas City Center, so we may pick up a little bit of ATC en route. Hey, Black Fox 403, good morning. Yeah, hopefully we can get you off to a good start. Um, my day is going to be kind of a weird day, so I had a little bit of time this morning to fly, so I thought I'd take advantage. Yep, nothing Denver-wise, but Kansas City and Cleveland right now are on center control-wise, but a lot can change in 3.5 hours. All right, over to SimBrief. You guys know the drill. Need some latitude and longitude for my initial position here. Position 0. Need to tell it where it's at the airport. And Denver, we are north 3951.7 and west 104.396. We'll just double check that 104. Oh, and so it bumped me a little bit there, and 39.512. So what it actually did is this INS will take you from the one you get in SimBrief is sort of like the middle of the Denver airport, and then these are like the specifics for the gate where you're actually at. Excuse me. So it gives you a more higher degree of accuracy, which is kind of nice. Okay, so we have that set. Sorry, we have that first waypoint in. We can go ahead and actually we'll just put this to align now and start putting our waypoint information in. Quite a few waypoints today, as you might expect. I'll show you kind of what's going on here, as well as the weather situation. We've got it's going to be a choppy, windy, turbulent day, as you can see all the way across. But departing from Denver, we're going to be, I think it's the Plains 1 departure that we're using, and yeah, going to be heading out to Goodland, Kansas. That's our transition, and then on through Kansas City. We'll be going through St. Louis, and then dipping down just a little bit here to catch the Docks 3 arrival into Washington Dulles. Like I said, about a 3.5 hour flight. The good thing is we should have a little bit of a tailwind today, so maybe we'll be able to cut that time down just a little bit here as well. We'll see, I guess. But as you can see, plenty of waypoints to enter in here. It's going to be a full. I think I've got 7 en route waypoints, and then we also have, of course, the arrival airport. So 8 waypoints to put in, and we better get to it. So the first one is Goodland, and that is, we're going north 3923.3 and west 101.415. All right, there's Goodland 10. Whoops. Nope, that's already not right. Oh, goodness. I need to go to waypoint here. All right, did that. I better go back and just make sure that didn't screw things up with our initial point. No, it didn't. We're in good shape there, but just about. And I tried to put in the Goodland waypoint information over the top of my Denver information. So let me have another drink of tea here. Might be one of those mornings. But this is why, though, you just can't rush this process. You want to just take your time. Let's try that again. North, we're 39.23.3. There we go. And we're west, 101.415. All right, there we go. Second waypoint. Second waypoint is going to be Hill City. And that is north 39.155. And west 100.136. All right, third waypoint. Kansas City. That's north 39.171. And west 94.442. Okay, fourth waypoint is fourth waypoint St. Louis. We have north 38.516. 38.516. And west 90.289. Then on to Louisville, north 38.062. West 85.346. Sixth waypoint for us is actually along the Juliet 526 airway, so we need to put in the Zebra intersection. I'll show you that here in just a second, but that's north 37.380 and west 82.452. And normally don't put intersections in, but this one is a little bit of a bend in the road, so I wanted to make sure we had that in there. Then we need Beckley. Beckley is 37.468. And 81.074. All right. And then we're getting pretty darn close here. I think the next one here is actually, then we're into our arrival there at Beckley. And so the final waypoint for us is actually Washington Dulles. Yep. Wait a second. Double check here. Yep. Eighth waypoint, Washington Dulles. And that is north 38.56.8. And west 77.276. All right. Complete waypoint is, complete flight plan is entered. And we'll just kind of come over here. We'll check our, we're almost already fully aligned there. When that gets to 0, we're fully aligned. This one, this INS definitely aligns much quicker than the one on the DC-8 for sure. But still fun to put that in, and much the same. If you enter things into a modern FMS, it's much the same process. It's just that you don't have to put the Latin long in there. You can just put the, you know, you can put MCI and it puts the rest of it in for you there. Bobcat 20 checking in this morning. Hey, how are you, man? Um, oh, Black Fox been enjoying the archive of these. Yeah, thanks, man. They've been fun. It's hard to believe we're almost halfway on it. All right, Paige, you're heading off, buddy. Okay, take care. Be safe. Be healthy. Hope everybody's good in your world, Black Fox. Good. Thanks for checking in. You have a good weekend yourself. One last check here just to make sure we haven't had somebody pop in here controller-wise. No, we have not. This would be the time we'd be, well, actually, we'd be getting clearance first before we would be entering all that stuff, obviously. You wouldn't want to have all that stuff in there and then have to go change it. My dog says hello, by the way, in case you're wondering. And let's get the transponder code. We're going to be 2200 this morning, at least until we get into some controlled airspace here. And pop that up to standby for now, just so folks know we're hanging out and doing some things. The other thing we needed to do here is let's make sure we've got some lights on. What do I have here? Morning. For some reason I have the landing and taxi lights. Sorry about that, ground crew. That's really all we need right now. Those guys were loving me, weren't they? All the lights just fully blaring and rocking and rolling. Okay. I do already have fuel and passengers on board, and we are, for us, we're going to have a rotation speed of 160 today, and we're going to go ahead and just set that in there for now. Check the INS real fast. All right, we are down, so we're ready to navigate. Awesome. Very, very good. Weather right now in the Denver area, it's a pretty nice day here on the ground. Like I said before, it's going to be a turbulent one. You don't really want to see my Discord. You'd rather see the active sky right now. Let's just make sure. One thing I always like to check. Yep, active mode is on. Conditions here at Denver, we have surface winds 260 at 8. A little bit chilly, -2, and everything else looks good. No precip. 3013 is what we're looking at here. So we'll get this set. $54.50, that's what we have. That looks good. Since we do not have air traffic control, we are going to go ahead and just climb all the way up right out of the chute here. And we're looking for, oops. Flight level today is 350. This is the Captain Sim L-1011, by the way, for those of you wondering. We're in the P3D world today, and absolutely love this plane. It's probably the hardest plane for me to fly. Definitely the hardest plane for me to land. And I've had more than my fair share of mishaps in this plane, but really enjoy the history and The setup, it's a 40-minute setup, and I love every minute of it. It's just fantastic. But it's also just a really neat little piece of history. We'll talk a little bit about that as we're going here. Um, definitely one of my favorite 20 aircraft of the year, no doubt about it. So altimeter set, altitude set, and we will arm that. Oh, we can't arm that yet till we get the engines going. Um, Heading, so for the Plains 9, let me pull the Plains 9 departure up here. Let's just check that, make sure we know what we're doing. Plains 1, sorry, Plains 9, Plains 1. So here's the, well, no, it's not the Plains 1 then, is it? It's the, oh, I do have Plane 1. Oh, that's Pikes 2 I pulled up there. Sorry, guys. Plains 1. There we go. There we go. That looks better. So we're departing to the east. We're going to use the Denver VOR 117.9 as kind of our outbound here. And we'll be traveling 087 to Xtan. And then we'll be tracking the Thurman VOR on this 264 radial. Then we'll be turning a little bit more to the south and tracking this Goodland on that 273. So I'm almost positive we can pick up Thurman here. It's not too far. So we'll have Denver in there, and we'll either do Denver outbound on this 87-degree outbound, or we'll have Thurman on this 264 radial inbound. And that'll be how we depart. We do have a top altitude of 10,000. That's what we would normally be given if we had ATC, but right here about Xtan, we'd be cleared direct Thurman or maybe direct Goodland, and then able to climb up to at least 230 or more than likely up to 350. Aquafunkalistic Booty Wap, hey, how in the world are you doing this morning? Rode a lot of planes in the 80s and 90s. Yeah. Don't think you ever rode in the L-1011. You know what? The funny thing that I've been finding about this plane is how many people pop in and say, "Hey, that was my very first ever jet plane experience when I was 6 or something like that. My first ever time riding in a plane was in the L-1011." I'm like, that's so awesome. It's crazy how many people have some have ties to that. Okay, so again, 97. Is that what we said? 87. Sorry, heading of 87. Sounds like we maybe have somebody that's loaded in next to us over here. I hear another engine in the background. 87. I am going to go ahead and put our climb out speed 220. We'll put that in, and we'll get all that stuff set up here and loaded ahead of time. Really helps with the departure. I don't know if I can arm that auto throttle yet. Nope, not yet. Got to have some engine power for all that good stuff. All right, onward and upward. We need to get the APU going here. Okay, so actually, do we have? Yep, we did put the. I didn't put the anti-collision lights on, did I? All right. APU right over here. Master power comes on. Then we do APU start. We'll keep an eye on the NG and the EGT here, as we'll let this little engine get going. There we go. Let it get stabilized. Yeah, Bobcat 20. He's got an L-1011 story to tell. I have never been on one myself. I'm a little envious of you guys, I'll be honest with you. All right, bleed air shut off can be opened. Then we need to go up and do some voodoo here. Oops. On the electrical and hydraulic panel. So our ATM needs to be shut off. Our pack flow controls need to be closed. We can now disconnect the external power. And alright, pre-start, we're ready. The doors are closed. The jetways are disconnected. The brake, but can I activate the brake? Hello, Mr. Parking Brake. I think it's set, but I don't know why it's not moving. Parking brake set. Fuel are all off. Flaps are 0. Okay, we are ready to start the engines. I don't have any kind of a GSX pushback guy, so I'm just going to do the old Shift P, and we'll back her up here nice and easy. Oh, there's the CRJ coming right behind me. Nice and clear day here in Denver. Kind of get ourselves out and away here just a little bit. Getting pretty close here, I think. Alright, that ought to work. That ought to work. Need some hydraulic power, I think, to set that brake. What was my... .260. So we're gonna need runway. Looks like runway 25. Okay, that's no problem. Keep that in the back of our minds here as we get going. All right, so we have all right, engine start time. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to open starter number 2. We're seeing things spinning up here. That looks good. We need N3 of 20% or more. We're getting close to that. Add some fuel. Fire things up. We'll keep an eye on just in case. Just in case the parking brakes aren't set like we hope they are. If we start drifting forward, we'll have to hit the regular brakes here. All right, there's a good start on number 2. Yep, everything looks good there. Do the same thing on number 3. That looks good. Turning number 1. Okay, 3 stable engines. Good starts there. We can go over and start shutting down the APU now. Bleed air shutoff can be closed. APU stop pushed. Everything spinning down here. Let's head back up to the electrical panel. Let's get these pack flow controls closed again. Let's put our hydraulics back to auto. We need to make sure that our Gen 1 is selected here. And let's see, what else? Bus volts are on ESS. And then we do not have external power anymore, so we're going to turn that off. I don't see any red lights here. So that looks good for now. One thing I do need to do is I need to set my altitude here. We're going to be up to 350. Set that. My current baro was, what did we say, 30? Don't have that written down here. Should have wrote that down. 3013. 3013. Get that set in there. Pretty good. And yeah, I think we're ready to go. Don't need any anti-icing today. Don't need wait. Emergency lights are they armed? Let's make sure they're armed. They're now armed. And what else? What else do I have? Any annunciator messages down here? I still have a few. Flight control panel. Auto spoilers are inoperable. And electrical systems. That one will come off when I turn the APU off. Not sure why my flight control message is coming up. Those are all working like they should. Wonder if any of those are related to my parking brake situation down here, which is still kind of boggling my mind. What else do I have? Autopilot disconnected, that's okay. Auto ground spoilers inoperable. Alright, maybe I just need to reset here. See if those guys just didn't reset. Nothing else here. I got good hydraulic pressure. And let me just look at all the rest of this stuff. All the rest of these pressures and temperatures are looking good. What if I've mapped something to my... I feel like I've mapped something to my brakes here and I don't know it. I was messing around with those the other day. Like, you know, you shouldn't do, but all right, well, we're gonna get going here, and I don't need the center flood light on right now. I don't really need any lighting, I don't think. Heck, it's the first thing in the morning here. I should be good to go. Hey, well, so far so good. I haven't had any problems, but I haven't had any ATC or any other kind of air traffic downwind, so we shall see. And I'm in P3D. So we shall see. Position lights, okay. I'll put the strobe lights on, put the taxi and turn off lights on. I will get the weather radar. See which one of these views gives me the best view of my weather radar. There we go. Put it on standby here to let it kind of warm up. It should come to life over here. Put it at a range of, let's go a range of 80 for now. There it comes. And then I can just put this over to, we'll just do the normal for now. And then this will go normal 1, squawking 2200. We're needing 2280 to talk to people. And we said we want the Thurman. Actually, we said we want Denver. Yeah, we're going to just tune in Thurman. I'm almost positive. I've flown this departure a few times. It feels like seems like we pick
Denver
up
traffic,
Thurman.
Southwest 82, clear hall runway, Denver.
Very early. So there's Thurman. We already have 1290. We already have our heading set, all that good stuff. So we should be able to now. Why, SpongeBob, why? None of this stuff is arming. Okay. I've got a bad feeling, Downwind Sim, that something has not initialized correctly here, because I'm not getting some options that I normally get. But I'm not seeing any warnings, any errors over here. I do see a battery condition light. That's staying on. That shouldn't matter a whole lot because I'm on the generator now. And everything here looks good. Okay, well. Almost positive there we go. Alright, didn't have my flight directors on. That might be part of the issue. Alright, well, we're gonna, like we do sometimes, we're gonna just get rolling, and if we have some things that come on, some lights that come on that shouldn't come on, then we'll adjust from there. Denver traffic, Clipper 816, taxi into runway 25. We're coming out Terminal Alpha. Let's add some power. And away we go. Welcome to Clipper 816, non-stop service from Denver, Colorado to Washington, Dulles. Flight time today will be 3 hours and 26 minutes. We'll be cruising at an altitude of 350. Sit back and relax. Downwind Sim will be by shortly with breakfast pie. I would say that Black Fox 403 would have the coffee, but he's already off going to work. Got a little rain here last night, apparently. Well, downwind, I do kind of going, just heading back through and thinking about things as far as the audio issue that I had last night. It seems to me like at a certain point it stopped happening in P3D, and it really wasn't anything I did. It just didn't happen. So I don't know if that's an update to X Pilot, well, V Pilot, I guess it'd be for P3D. or what, but I can't remember the last time I've had that problem in P3D. Alright, so we're looking for Gulf, which is this one right here. And then down we go. Runway 25, we're going to have to make a left-hand turn here as soon as we depart to kind of get heading to the east. There's 087 is the desired heading. Yes, indeed, my friend. Yes, indeed. Time will tell. May hasten my transition to PosCon. Denver traffic, Clipper 816. We are holding short of runway 25. We'll be departing left-hand traffic IFR to the east, Denver. Okay, we'll pull up here. Let's just do our last few checks. All right, we're at that point where we're ready to, before takeoff, we do have strobes on. Landing lights. Now you guys can come on. The master power for the APU can come off. APU is sufficiently cooled down. That extinguishes those lights. Does that allow me to... No, it still doesn't allow me to set that. Alright, that's interesting. Maybe I can't until I have just... Can't remember the flow. But that'll be our climb out speed. And let's set flaps to 5. Is that a single? That's a single notch of flaps, right? Yeah, 5, 10, 5, 10, 18, 22, 27. You know, just the typical. Flaps 5 departure. No, flaps 10 departure, sorry. Weather radar is normal. I do need to go up here and arm continuous ignition. Anti-skid is on. Don't need any internal lighting. And I'm squawking Charlie. At Denver traffic, Clipper 816 will be departing runway 25, turning left and climbing out to the east. Denver. Well, I think we're ready, guys. Finals clear. Runway's clear. Again, looking for a rotation speed of about 160 this morning. Nice cool morning. Should get some pretty good performance. Not overly heavy. I mean, a 3-hour flight is Still a little bit less than about, well, I shouldn't say a little less. It's less than half of what the plane is rated to do. I think you can stretch it out to 9 hours or something crazy like that if you needed to. But we do have some altitude here, so there is that factor as well. All right, here we go. Takeoff power is set. Airspeed is alive. There's V1. Rotate. Positive rate, gear coming up. Auto throttle armed. I have no shame in turning on the autopilot early here. Our VS mode is engaged. Looking for 220. Heading mode here also, don't I? Heading mode is engaged. We're going to start to make our turn around to the left. Bring it up to flaps 5. There we go. We're out of here, Denver. See you later. Sayonara. Too crazy with the cinematics. I want to make sure we're not stalling out here on the turn. Flaps fully retracted. Get to 10,000. We're going to level off slightly. We're going to get ourselves on our heading here as well before we do anything else. Alright, so there we go. There's 10,000. And we're going to bring the nose down here and pick up some airspeed. Looking for 300. Pull the power back a little bit. You can see the annunciator light down there. That's a vibration warning. That's what you get when you're kind of over your power limits or close to your power limits. We're going to look for 300, and then we'll see if we can't hold that all the way through. But you can see here, again, we've got you know, we're not too bad now, coming back down. And what do we have over here? Okay, those are looking much better as well. Everything looks to be coming around, and we've got 300, and so we will see. We'll see if we're able to maintain that. Let's just pull the climb rate back here. We'll start with 2,000. We'll see if that works. Through 10,000, by the way, so we can turn the lights off. And we do have all of our flaps up. Our gear is retracted. Continuous ignition can be turned off. Downwind. Yeah. They are they're homework type of aircraft, aren't they? I'm not stopping, but I will do a wing wave when I go over the top of your house, by the way, in St. Louis. Downwind sim, the St. Louis Slammer. Alright, so we are unfortunately not picking up Thurman. So if that's going to be the case here, I'm going to give it a minute or two. I mean, we generally speaking, we know that we can be heading east, and at some point in time we'll be close enough to Thurman that we'll pick it up. But if we don't, we can. Oh, there we go. Speak of the Vortac. So let's spin our course around here, and let's see what we have to do to be on course here. Looks like a little something like that. Now we can just arm our nav at this point, and we can fly this baby maybe. Please don't turn and go back to Denver unexplainedly. There we go. Just doing a little correction here, trying to get back on the that outbound. But so anyway, we can fly it with the VOR here to start, and then we can turn on the SIVA, because this is actually our first. This is our first waypoint. We do a distance here. We're only 28 miles from that, and once we get on course. Made a little bit of a funky. I don't know why it decided to go to the right there, because we were pretty well lined up. Now it's trying to correct and get back up and on kind of that you know, trying to pick up that 260 outbound, I guess, which is about not about, it's 080. So now here we go. A couple of S turns. What's a couple of S turns among friends? There's 18,000. Let's go 29902. Let's set that standard. And we're still making 300. That's awesome. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to make that, but we're only going up to 350 today. Well, maybe we're just going to keep the S-turn train going here. If that's the case, I'm going to go back to heading mode. It's having some trouble picking up that radio for some reason. So we're just going to go ahead, go back to heading mode. We can get it pretty close down here. This is what I'm tracking right here. As you can see right now, we've slid just a little bit south of our intended track. So I'm just going to keep bumping this guy over. Delta used to fly the Mad Dog, yep, between Savannah and Atlanta. What a great plane. So the next, without a doubt, the next two airliners that I'm going to be looking at for the X-plane world is the MD-80 and the 737-200. I already have a 732 in P3D, so I've kind of been able to withstand that FlyJ sim sale that's going on right now. But if the Mad Dog goes on sale, it could be pretty tough to hold off. That looks like a really, really fun airplane. Alright, I'm picking up a few little dots on the weather radar right now. It is going to be bumpy, we know that. And haven't experienced too much of that just yet. Starting to get into some of that cloud layer. Look at those clouds. My goodness. The P3D sky is an amazing thing. P3D version 4.5 been released this week. Everybody, I'm sure, has heard that. It promises even better environmental renderings. Can't wait for that. Oh, that's awesome. Totally awesome. I don't know why this is telling me that's disengaged. Another one of those that didn't trip right. Yeah, break out that wallet. Well, downwind, I'm gonna have to wait until payday. I'm afraid I've had to spend a little bit more on my flight sim addiction this month than I initially had intended. So you will forgive me if that's the case. All right, oh, we kind of have blown through that radial there, Thurman. We need to be semi-close to that, because if we're not and we try to engage the SIVA, then it can get a little western. SIVA will actually, if you don't fly right over or semi-close to the waypoint, you know, we have 15 miles here. It'll actually not. So like right now we're set to fly from 1 to 2, so we're set to fly from Thurman to Goodland. So it's in my best interest to be somewhat close to Thurman, so that it recognizes that, and then it'll automatically change this from 1 to 2, and it'll make it 2 to 3, which is that's Goodland to Kansas City, I think. But if you don't cross close enough to Thurman, it'll actually take you back, all the way back, and it'll make you go across Thurman again, and then get on course. So you want to make sure that you're not missing that, which we're off a little bit here, so I'm a little bit nervous. So I'm not going to engage this until it tells me that it's going from it's switching from 1 to 2 to 2 to 3. Are the engines too loud here downwind? I'm still in that process, by the way. I can put the Bose noise canceling headphones on if I need to. So let me know. This is the whisper liner, after all. We can make it a little quieter. Okay, mix seems pretty good. All right. I kind of like the sound of those. Now you can tell we're getting really close, because, all right, so there we go. So let's see what happens here now. change from 1 to 2 over. If that goes 2, 3, then we know we're in business. Actually, no, I take that back. This should stay 1, 2. Yeah, that's right, because 1 is Thurman. 2 is Goodland. All right, and it actually has flipped over here because now we're 137 miles away. We're off that radio still just a little bit, but I think we are. I'm going to engage the nav. We're going to see if we pick that up a little bit better here. Don't S-turn it all over the place. And if we can get semi-stable here, I'm going to let the INS take over and have some fun. That'll make my job kind of boring, but it'll be kind of fun to see if I've programmed everything incorrectly to the INS. Here we go. Are we going to overcorrect and S-turn it back and forth? So we're rocking the passengers to sleep this way, trying to get everybody calm and relaxed before we hit the turbulence. Yeah, no, it's still doing the same thing here. All right. We'll engage heading. We will, I am going to just flip it over though. So we need the FMS to come on, and at this point, yes, so the FMS comes on, it takes over the heading mode for us, and we should be on a 103 or 104 is saying, so it's taking us a little farther to the south, which is accurate, as we ended up just way north of Thurman somehow. Yeah, we're just a little bit north, of course, but all right, well, we're on it, and now from here on out, the latitude and longitude data that we've entered into the SIVA will guide our heading mode. We're just about to 350. Okay, it caught it, and we're leveling off. All right, very good. Our speed is chilling out here. We don't need to be 300. We need to be probably about 280. Looking for a Mach like 0.82 would be good. Let's see if we can get it somewhere in that range, anywhere from 0.78 to 0.82. Yeah, we'll just see what 280 does for us. We've got a good tailwind, and so that's you know, we'll be able to make good time regardless. But all right, we're 12 minutes from Goodland. We're at top of climb, and so I guess it's up to you. We can stop this part of the stream, and we can come back here in an hour or so and watch the top of descent down into Dulles, or we can keep it rolling. It really doesn't matter to me. Actually, it does matter to me. I just remembered something that I am going to actually have to stop the stream, pause it here halfway. I've got a couple things I need to do offline here. Well, not offline, but off stream. So let's do that. So let's see, what time is it? It's 11 o'clock Eastern time, and so I am estimating that probably about 12:30, so about an hour and a half, I should be approaching the top of descent. So just keep an eye peeled. I'll let you know in my Discord, and obviously you'll see this pop up or whatever when I bring the stream back up. But thanks for tuning in this morning. Thanks for bringing a little coffee run here, and I will see you guys in about, like I say, about an hour and a half. God bless.